but I was really excited. It was gonna be a new setting, a new chapter. Notice how I said it was, right? So what's going on, friends? Welcome back to our channel. It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a double beat. Step two, step two, step two. Anywho's, happy new year. Are my lips a little funny looking? Put on a little lip gloss. Have some decorum about you, girl. You on the camera, honey. Stop it. Today, I'm just doing my hair, but I figured like, let me make a video, let me do an update video. I'm trying to create more content these days and actually show up instead of just disappearing. I don't like to disappear, y'all, but honestly, 2021 that just passed by, this past year was so ghetto for me. Like literally from the beginning, January 2021, all the way down, it was a very ghetto situation for me. So it was hard for me to like create content because I'm not one of those people who can create content in the midst of going through something like super important or super traumatic or demanding. I don't know. I'm one of those people, if I'm going through a lot, I kind of shut down as well. Although there were times I really did want to create content, I just wasn't in the spirits to. And this year, 2022 has started off really different for me in comparison to how 2021 started. And I really think it's because like I prayed the new year in. That's what I attribute it to, at least. Like that's my take on things. You know, someone else could say, oh, that's just hoopla, it's just woo-woo. But for me, I feel like it made a big difference. Because January 2021, I didn't pray the year in. And I think I was in a space of like uncertainty and a little bit of anxiety. So I didn't bring in the new year on some good energy. And it literally was just downhill, all the way downhill for me from there. So January 2021, I started off the year with like uncertainty about a certain situation. I found out some information that was like, blah. I'm gonna walk you through the whole year basically.
Before we go into spring, I forgot to mention that in February, I was so burnt out professionally and creatively. I tried to do a series of like staycations, do a day at the Four Seasons, and literally nothing was working. I was just burnt out, period. And the people pleaser in me didn't know how to just stop indefinitely, because I felt like I had so many people depending on me to show up and show out. I had a new team, I was signing on to new management, I had collaborations in place, I had followers and subscribers who were expecting me to post consistently, and I just didn't know how to get off of the hamster wheel, even though I really needed to.
So then around springtime, I had to like end a friendship. I had to mourn the death of a friendship. My friend didn't pass away or nothing like that. It's the friendship that like was dead. And I don't know about you guys, but I think breaking up with a friend or realizing that a friendship is like ending, one that was so important to you, that's one of the biggest heartbreaks I've ever experienced in my life. Because with romantic partners, I think you go into it knowing like this is about to be my forever person, or this is about to be the worst breakup ever and I'm gonna experience heartbreak. So you're kind of prepared for it and you see it coming. But in my head, I'm like, we're gonna be friends forever. We're gonna be friends until we're old and we're going to cruise ship vacations together. And don't ask me why I think cruise ship vacations, because I just feel like don't old people love a cruise line vacation, you know what I mean? So I just feel like we're gonna be friends forever. We're gonna get grandkids together and all of that. But yeah, when it doesn't work out like that, I'm like so thrown off. And I'm not even talking about like new friendships, because it takes me a while for me to accept someone as a friend. I don't make like proper friends that easily. I make a lot of acquaintances. I get along with a lot of people, but to call someone like a friend and really mean like this is a good friend of mine, that takes me some time to consider someone a friend. It doesn't happen overnight for me. I really take my time with getting to know people. Yeah, so when this is someone you've been friends with for years and you really thought like this is gonna be a friendship I'll have forever, when you realize like, damn, actually this is a person who low-key kind of hates me, secretly wanting me to fail and stuff, I'm so hurt by it and thrown off. That kind of caused me to shut down a little bit as well, because I'm like, damn, I really thought that I could trust this person. Apparently I can't. And then there was one other thing that really threw me off and caused me to want to leave Canada ASAP, which is what we were talking about on Instagram the other day. And I figured, let me just make a video explaining myself. I gotta blow dry my hair real quick, so give me a second. Okay, sorry about that, we're back. my hair wasn't wet or anything. I just need to blow dry it because it helps me to like style it next. I washed it yesterday and I didn't do anything to it, so it was kind of like, I guess, wavy slash something. So basically I was talking about why I decided to leave Toronto. This is something that happened like towards the end of summer, and I haven't spoken about it, but I think a lot of people on Instagram were like, girl, what's going on? Like, you have not been back in Toronto, you're constantly in California or Hawaii, or now I'm in Mexico. That's where I'm at right now. And let me explain what was all going on. I'm not gonna go too in depth because it's kind of still ongoing, but basically my car was broken into my birthday weekend, like 2 days after my birthday dinner. So my mom works right by my house, and sometimes if I stay over at her house, she'll just drop me off home and then just go to work from there, right? So instead of us taking 2 cars to go to the same place, I'll just go with her home and then she'll drop me off home on her way to work. But this day she was running late for work, so she was like, just take my car and then just pick me up from work, please, because if I stop to drop you, even though it's gonna add like just an extra 8 minutes to her commute, yeah, she can't. She's like running late. I had just dropped her off and I figured, you know what, there was something I was looking for my birthday weekend. I couldn't find it anywhere. I think I went to Square One Mall, Bramley City Center. I think I went to one other mall, and I just couldn't find the item that I was looking for. So I was like, you know what, let me try stopping in Chinatown to see if they have it. But basically my car got broken into within 11 minutes, downtown Toronto, on Spadina basically, and it was like walking distance from the Eaton Center, but I don't know, it just happened so quickly. I'm pretty sure it was a car that was right next to me, but the way that the police handled me really made me lose like trust in the police station, because first of all, it took them forever to even, you know, come check it out. They didn't even come to the scene. They actually called me back about 10 days later. By then these people had used one of my credit cards already, and I'm gonna be honest, like, I'm gonna speak my truth. The police officer basically was trying to hit on me via the phone, like over the phone, and I was like, you don't even know what I look like why are you trying to ask me out? Like, let me tell this story better. So basically no one answers my phone call, okay? It takes them about 10 days to answer, like to call me back, and this is after I had been calling them to find out like, hey, what's the status? I haven't made a report. I think I called like 3 times before they called me back. And mind you, when you call to talk to a detective at the police station, you're on hold for like 2.5 hours. So it took them forever to call me back. They did call me back, and the police officer is like doing the report. He's asking me, you know, what got stolen, what was taken, da da da. This is a very traumatic experience for me. I've been driving since I was 16 years old, and I have never had my car broken into, ever. And neither has like my mom. My mom's been driving for longer than I have in this country, and like none of us have had our car broken into. No one that I know in my immediate family has had their car broken into. So I was traumatized to say the least, and I felt very violated, especially since it happened within 11 minutes of me getting out of the car. From the time I paid for parking to the time I came back and realized that it was broken into and I started taking pictures, 11 minutes had passed by. So I'm like, this was someone who was watching me and saw that I had just parked, came on over, broke into my car, stole everything out. I lost my Louis bag, my Louis wallet, my laptop, brand new laptop that I had just gotten like a few months prior, camera, lens, hard drive, what else? Like, oh, my passport was in that bag as well, because I had just come from a trip not too long ago and I hadn't offloaded my bag. It was like a big, the Louis Vuitton Neverfull. So I had it in there as well. And just like, they basically took so much from me in such a short amount of time. This is my first time getting my car broken into. I felt so violated, and I couldn't believe that that would happen. So when this police officer calls me to do a report on what had happened, I'm going through the details, recalling every single thing that these people have taken, what was in there, and trying to explain to him that, yeah, this stuff costs money. Yeah, I did have a lot of stuff in there that costed a lot of money, but it's not about that. It's about the violation. It's about the fact that they stole things that I can never get back. My hard drive and my laptop were both in that car. So there are files on there I will never be able to get back. Photo shoots I've had, I'll never have those pictures. Like, there's so much on there that I'll never get back. And I know people are like, well, why would you leave that in your car? I wasn't planning to stay out of my car for that long. Like I said, I came back to my car in 11 minutes. And like I said, I had never gotten my car broken into before, but some lessons are expensive to learn. It's fine. It's just that there's stuff on there that are so important, and it's just the principle. Like, even it was like $5 worth of product in there, worth of stuff in my car, you shouldn't have broken my window to get into it. I was just really bothered by that. So I'm going through the report with the police officer, explaining to him how I just got violated, the stuff that I lost in my car and the dollar amount of it, and why I would prefer for us to just catch these people, you know, look at the cameras and just find out who these people are, because essentially I need the stuff back. I don't even care for the dollar. So basically I'm explaining, you know, how I've been violated and blah blah blah, and essentially he's taking down all the information. Afterwards he's like, okay, here's some numbers you can call to follow up on the status of the report. Call this number, or you can call this number, or you can call this number. I'm like, okay, thank you very much. So then he's like, just hold on a quick second. He puts me on hold, comes back and he's like, yeah, so those are all the numbers you can call. Other than that, you can call my personal number. I kind of just like awkwardly laugh, like, okay, I think he's trying to make like a small talk joke or whatever, right? And he's like, no, I'm serious. Like, I want to take you out. The level of unprofessionalism here, like, I just went through about 30 minutes, 40 minutes of explaining to you how I've been violated, and your response is to say, let me take you out. And I think he might have said drinks or coffee or something too on top of it. It's like, first of all, check the material. Check the material. She goes for coffee dates? No, she doesn't. She goes for drinks. But it's not even that. It's not even that. It's the fact that not even him asking me to go to drinks or coffee or whatever. Like, tell me you don't care about doing your job without telling me you don't care about doing your job, without telling me you don't care about what I just told you. My nephew was there too. It was on speaker because I was on the phone for so long. I just put it on speaker so that I can move around and stuff. But my nephew was kind of looking like, what just happened? Because my nephew's 12, so he's old enough to know that, like, okay, guys hit on girls, but he's also like young enough to think the police would never do that. They're supposed to just do their job. Like, why would the police be hitting on my aunt? Like, that's so weird. So my nephew was standing there kind of like, what just went on? I also was like, did that really just happen? And just messed up. So I called back like maybe a week later to just find out what's the status of the report. Had they checked the cameras? Because I'm afraid if we wait too long, the parking unit that I parked at won't have access to that footage anymore. I call and it hasn't been assigned to anybody. Then when I called to find out like what's going on with the status of the report, the response I got was just kind of messed up. And that's where I'm gonna leave it, because the rest of it is still ongoing. And essentially I was not feeling safe in Toronto anymore because of how I was handled with the police department. And also I was getting some weird messages from the people who had done this, and I don't know, I didn't want to have to deal with the state Toronto was in, combined with me not feeling safe. And it's just everything I love about Toronto was just not Torontoing at the moment. Crime rates are climbing in Toronto. For these people to have my hard drive and be able to see everything that's on there, and it's not too difficult to trace my steps, because that was making me feel very unsafe as well, because I do work on social media. So if these people are trying to like trace my steps or like watch my every move, it's not difficult for them. So that was making me feel so unsafe. And I just decided Toronto right now is not Torontoing. And it's also pretty messed up too that, you know, with the whole lockdown situation, one day we're back, one day we're not, and that is not okay for someone's mental health. That one day we're open and then next thing you know, everything's locked down again, gyms are locked down again, with the span of like 3 days notice. And I just didn't like that. I really felt like I was in, like, I don't want to say triggering words on YouTube because I will get demonetized, but like a relationship with the government. Like, the police officers are disrespectful, these shutdowns disrespectful, crime rate disrespectful, and there's nothing that they're doing about it. All of this was just triggering and disrespectful, and I had to leave. But the question now is, do we like my hair? It's nice and natural. Yeah, these are such comfortable pajamas. I'm still in my pajamas, but I'm about to change really quick to start filming for the Slice series that I have on the newsletter. I'll probably share it on my YouTube post as well. But yeah, I don't think I've even spoken about the series on my YouTube channel, but I have a 10-episode personal finance series with the Slice Network that I'm super excited about, because I've been watching Slice for years. Like, I think I grew up watching Slice even. Like, I remember they had this series called Princess and then Till Death Do Us Part, and it was a lady who like takes apart your finances and helps you to get back on track, and I loved that show. And that just goes to show, like, personal finances for me has been a thing. It's been an interest. It's been a passion fashion. So that's really exciting how full circle things happen. But yeah, that's actually been so much work, way more work than I initially thought it would be to film this series. And so that's been consuming. I took a break. I was trading and traveling. I was in Hawaii. I was in San Francisco, Silicon Valley. I was in San Diego. I was in LA. I'm now in Mexico, and I've been having a good old time, But yeah, I was already starting to feel a sense of like, I've kind of outgrown my current space. I need something different, something new to inspire me creative wise, because I wasn't feeling inspired or creative in Toronto. I just wasn't feeling like myself, but I didn't really know how to go about moving. I think I was feeling like, let me just deal with it and try to create opportunities in my current circumstance that will help catapult me to like the next chapter in my life. It just wasn't happening. And then with how I was feeling after that car break-in happened, I really feel like that was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. And I was like, I'm out of here. I don't want to put up with this. One of the main reasons why I love Toronto so much is because I feel so safe here, and security is something that's so important to me. And I didn't realize how important it was to me until my safety was compromised. And to know that I couldn't really rely on the police. There's way more to the story, by the way, with what happened with the police. And I'm not gonna go into it here because like I said, it's still ongoing, but like there's been way more that happened that made me think, oh, y'all really don't care about doing your job of protecting the people. And I just thought that that was something Toronto had down pat, you know, when it comes to the police force. And I know that one department doesn't represent the whole of Ontario. I know this for a fact, but just to know that this type of situation can happen anywhere is a reminder to me. Go where you want to go, because you're gonna have to deal with good and bad people regardless anywhere you go. It's not just America that has corrupt police officers or like crime happening left, right, and center. Like this kind of stuff happens in Toronto too. And just be safe wherever you are. You can't really trust anybody or anything, any neighborhood or anything. Like you have to double, triple, quadruple check everything. Can't be naive to crime, can't be naive to corruption. You just can't. But anyways, with lockdowns being like open today, gone tomorrow, that is still fresh on my brain. I don't think people remember how the government was really doing us. This is for my people in Toronto, by the way, which I heard Toronto as a city had the most number of lockdowns in comparison to all of North America. The highest number of days in lockdown, and that's just mind-boggling to me. And a lot of people have forgotten what 2020 was like, but I don't know if y'all remember the government like opening things for a week and then shutting things down that same week, opening restaurants and then shutting it down, telling small businesses to like summarize their restaurants, you know, like create patios so that we can enjoy outdoor dining, only for them to shut it down that same summer. That businesses spent hundreds and thousands of dollars turning their patios into dining areas. I don't know if y'all remember that. Bunch of small businesses going bankrupt. Like this was really happening, and I'm not really sure that the government had a good handle on how they were handling this situation. I just wanted to be in a place that didn't have this level of uncertainty, this level of feeling like I'm in the purge. I don't know what it was like. I was in a twilight zone. Like gyms are closed but golfing courses are not, and how does this make sense that someone can't even go in the winter time to go work out indoors? They're forced to go for walks and runs in the brisk ice cold weather outdoors. And so I came to California, and I've been in California for the last 2.5 months. My person lives out here, so I've been in Cali. So I decided to stay out there because he owns a house in California, and he essentially was like, come, you're more than welcome to come. Like I've been telling you, you can come out here. Like you work 100% remote anyway. So I decided to do that. I was so excited to leave. I hadn't been so excited and looked forward to something like that in such a long time. I haven't even felt that level of excitement to go on vacation in a long time. But I was really, really excited because it was gonna be a new setting, a new chapter. Notice how I said it was, right? So I thought that it was going to be my new location until I was fighting for my life on that Pacific time, because my whole team, everyone I work with for Good Girls Gone Boss and for Lynn Allure stuff as well, everyone lives on Eastern time. As a matter of fact, everyone lives in Toronto specifically. So by the time I wake up and I start working, everyone's been working for like 4 or 5 hours already. And I know my strengths and weaknesses. I hit the ground running and I'm ready to get into the flow of work around 12 o'clock, afternoonish. By 12 o'clock my time, it's like 3 p.m. their time, and that only leaves me like 2 hours to communicate with everyone before everyone's like logging off for the day. And that's between both Good Girls Gone Boss and Lynn Allure. So if someone needs an answer ASAP, of course I'm gonna prioritize my business first, because I have a bunch of clients and customers and students on the line that I need to make sure I'm showing up for. So I prioritize that, and if someone needs an answer ASAP, something is urgent, something needs my attention ASAP, I'm gonna handle that. But then that left everything I was working on for Lynn Allure on the back burner, because if I need to get back to, like, for example, my YouTube management team, if they're like, hey, can you answer this by end of day? I'm like, my end of day, they're like already eating supper, like they're not still logged in on the computer. And so it was just making communication really difficult, because I'm not a morning person, and waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning so that I could start working at 8 a.m. when they're working was just not gonna work for me. It's just not how I operate. So that was a hashtag fail, you know, unfortunately. And so I came out to Mexico, and I have a friend out here who is also a digital nomad, who is an entrepreneur, works 100% remote, and he comes out here for during like the winter months, and he goes back to Toronto in the summertime. He's also like older than me, and has also been in the space of being your own boss and being like 100% digital entrepreneur for some time now. So it's also really cool to be around that energy, and I'm really, really grateful for it, because I'm like, he says things that make me think about my business in a different way, and I'm like, oh, like I never thought about doing it that way. And it's amazing. I don't know, like anyone who is an entrepreneur, you would understand the value of having other entrepreneurs around you. But for me to be around someone who's an entrepreneur who's also like seasoned and has been doing this for years, and it has another outlook or perspective to offer me in my business that is relevant and useful, is so helpful. So I'm really grateful for that, and I'm grateful for where I'm at in the moment. Right now I'm in Mexico. It's the same time zone as Toronto, which is great. And I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be here, because I do miss California in a sense. I also do miss Toronto as well, but I don't have any desire to go back to Toronto at the moment. But the question now is like, have you moved permanently? I know a lot of people have been asking me that. Have you moved permanently? Are you coming back? And the answer is yes, I am coming back. My family lives there, my friends live there. I still own property there. I still pay taxes there. I have my Canadian citizenship, and I'm not planning to give that up anytime soon, but I also don't plan to come back anytime soon. By anytime soon, that's relative, right? Like maybe I might come back in the summer when it's warm again, because I'm really loving this warm weather, you know. I think I'm flourishing. It's great vitamin D for me to be out in the sun all the time, and I'm really enjoying myself here. I'm getting a lot of things done in regards to Good Girls Gone Boss. We're growing and thriving, and everything's going great. We have switched up the model in Good Girls Gone Boss, and I'm going to be opening up the membership again soon, but not in the same capacity that we once had it open. So we had so many requests of people like, hey girl, what's going on? Can I get up in the society? Why'd you close it? So I am going to be opening it up. It's not going to be weekly calls anymore. We're just trying things out. I want it to be impactful too, and when a membership scales too large, sometimes it's hard to get that good level of impact and meaningful content out to the masses, because there's just so many people, and it's hard to solve specific problems for everyone. So yeah, I am considering opening it up again to new members, but it's going to be at a different capacity and different model than it was in the past. But stay tuned, y'all. If you're not on the wait list, I'm gonna leave a link down below so you can be on the wait list for updates. Yeah, y'all, that's basically it. That's everything that's been going on with me personally. I do want to be more active on YouTube, and I am in a different spirit and different energy, different space, so you can expect to see more content from me. I'm really not the type of person who can explain my traumas as I'm going through it. I know a lot of people are like that, especially a lot of like influencers and content creators. When they're going through something, they go straight to the Instagram stories to rant and vent and etc, etc. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think there's nothing wrong with that, because that's just how people deal with situations. But I know myself, and I know that's not how I deal with situations at all. I'm the exact opposite. I have to go through it on my own before I'm able to share it with the world. world, and now I'm able to comfortably speak about it without it being triggering or me feeling a level of anxiety talking about it, because I've come to terms with everything that happened. And even though the situation in Toronto is still ongoing, I am comfortable with what happened and I'm comfortable speaking on it, and I know it's only gonna get better with time. And yeah, I'm gonna keep you guys updated on what happens after I've processed it on my own, because that's how I deal with things. I'm not the type to just speak on trauma that I'm currently trying to process and deal with on my own. So yeah, that's essentially that. I hope that gave y'all some insight as to like what's going on with your girl, like where's she been, what's she doing, like what the hell, where you at, girl? That's where I've been at, what I've been doing. So that's really it, y'all. I do want to be more consistent on YouTube. I do want to like post more good content, because I feel like I was really happy when I was doing that. So I would love for you guys to share with me, like, what kind of content do you want to see on the channel? What would you like me to share or talk about on my channel? Let me know so I could be of help. And yeah, that's essentially it for me. I love you guys so much. Love you to the moon and back. Make sure you do. Bye. So serene. It's so warm right now. Sun is shining. We're blessed. We are very, very blessed.